Okay. Okay, so shalom. I know I did a previous video earlier on about how to do some fringes. This is a dress that I already had made, but I'm down to this part. This is the crease part that I've sewn, but I loosened it up a little bit more because I needed to make sure I had enough material to do the fringes as far as I need to go up. If your material does not have any fringe line here, all you have to do is use some scissors, or use a pick to go up maybe about 2 inches. I say 2.5 inches at least. This is a little more than that, but at least about 2.5 inches or so. And my dress is shaped. The bottom border of my dress is shaped a certain way. So some of my fringes are longer, like the more closer to the middle of my material is longer than the fringes on the side. And this is going to be stitched together. Once I get the length that I want here, I can knot them up with the crochet needle, and when I'm done, then I can even out with the scissors the knotted tassels to the length that I would like them to be, to even out with the fringes on the corner. So now I'm going to go ahead and do another demonstration of the fringe. What I like to do is to take the pick, and it's not that hard, but on the camera it might be a little bit tricky, but all I'm doing is picking with the pick and pulling down one string like that, just one. I'm doing it slow just to show you. I pulled it out so that way you can see that it's loose, and then I did the wrong one. So here it is, and it's going to have a little loop between all the fringes, and then because it's at the end, it's going to gather and just pull it gently through. I go much faster, but I'm doing it slow for the video. And then you want to gently pull the direction that is going to be removed, and as it gather, you're going to stretch it out, the material out gently, without trying to break the thread. Stretch it all the way down as far as you can go to loosen it up some. And then once you have done that, just scrunch it some more. Just scrunch and pull gently, and then pull the material, the scrunch material, down the way. That's all you're going to do. And you're going to hold this thread. Make sure you hold it as you scrunch, and it will pull out gradually. It will pull out. If you break it too many times, one time is okay, but if you break it too many times, then you can have a difficult time trying to find the piece of thread. Now it's removed. It's removed now. I've done this much, so that's all that I do. Some people like to use tweezers. They'll take the tweezers and they will pull the thread. I don't have my tweezers with me to demonstrate that, but that's what some people like to do. Sometimes I will pull some of this thread loose on the side and pull down yeah, pull some of the thread off on the side like this. And these loose thread right here that's going across, this will help you to see what thread needs to be pulled next. And you want to make sure that you pull the thread that is closest to the fringe. Any loose, broken off threads that have been popped apart, you want to make sure you find that between your material and get it out, because if you move to the next string, it can cause the other string to pop as well, because it will be in the loose piece that previously popped and have not been removed can cause other strings to pop as well. So this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to do it in a way where you can see it in the camera. All I'm doing is holding this thread and rolling my fingers around it as I pull it. And as the material scrunch, all I'm doing is scrunching it, loosening the scrunch material down the row. That's all I'm doing. And as I stretch it down, then I pull some more. I scrunch again. I pull the thread and it's out. That's all I'm doing. And I normally can get through this a lot faster, because I've been doing it for a while. So just for the camera's sake, I am just taking my time to do my best and show how I am doing this. Now, these loose pieces of thread right here, all I'm doing is, you just pick it. This is where people use tweezers sometimes. You take the tweezers and hold the first thread that's closest to the edges, and then just pull it straight down in a row. Not guarantee that it won't pop on you, but some people do that. They prefer to have the tweezers to hold than to grab it with their fingers. Me, I just prefer to use my hands. And you just hold the string and scrunch. Just scrunch down. That's all you're doing is scrunching down. It's all scrunched down. Pull it down this way. See, more. And then you take that and you just pull it down some more. That's all you're doing until you get all the way to the bottom. To the other end. But most likely you will feel the string pulling on through. You will feel it loosening more, and you can just pull it right on out. That's it. And you just keep going until you get the length that you would like. Because my dress is cut at a rounded border, as a rounded border instead of a straight, the middle is way much longer and my end is much shorter. So I'm going to keep going until my ends are the length that I would like, and then trim the longer pieces that that I probably don't want that long later on after I do the knots. Okay, shalom. Got a light on, but it don't need light on. Okay. Shalom. Try not to move too much. Shalom, Ox and Akuts. I would like to show you how I do my ribbon for our clothing. We are using 100% cotton material. So to get the color that we desire, the color of ribbon of blue violet, it can be difficult to get it unless ordered in a particular color. But even ordering, sometimes when you get the color that you want, it's not always the color of the right violet color. So this is what we do in the place of it. We buy a blue violet material, You can get it from anywhere, whether Walmart, whether Joann's, whether order online, whether whatever other place. What's the other place? I can't think of the other place. But anyway, here. This is what I do. What's that yardstick? Get that yardstick. Oh, okay. Okay. So I use a yardstick to measure. First, I take material and I fold it in half. So it makes it easier for me to go straight down a line without having to do a long strip. And I do the width that I want of my strips. For the ribbon, and I know it looks small, but I will show you what it will look like afterwards. And you don't want a big fat ribbon, because some people like that, but it's not like we're trying to get a lot of attention. When I first started out, my ribbons were as wide as this right here itself on our clothing. But that was because I did not really know what I was doing. I really did not know how to do my own ribbon. I was just learning. But this is the pencil that I use. It's white, and it's for materials like a marker, a water soluble marker pencil, and I use this to mark. It's pretty cheap anywhere you can find it, and mark the material, and it's easy to wipe off, rub off with water or whatever, or your fingers. And so I take this and I just make sure I have the width that I want my band to be, because what I'm going to do is fold it down, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's going to look like this. This is how thin it's going to be when I fold it down. So what I do is I take the pencil and I just go straight down and move the yardstick down until I go all the way. And then I do rows of it. That way I don't have to keep coming back to do the same thing over and over and over. And then all I have to do is just cut down the strip with scissors or whatever you have to cut with, a razor, roller blade, or whatever you use. And then after that, we take the iron. Come over here. My daughter is helping me record. Stay here. So I started on, come a little close. I started on this one. I have it folded, but I didn't finish this one, so I'm going to show you what I've done. So this is what I've done. What I did was, be still, I fold one side down on one side, and then I fold the down part up, or you can do it vice versa. Don't move. Down here and fold that up. And I do this all the way, but I'm do a little bit at a time, because what I'm going to do to help it stay down is iron it. So I'm going to press it down with the iron. And I just hold the iron down there. I have the border. This is how thin. Be still. This is how thin I made my strip, my ribbon, and I'm going to. I started stitching it already, so this is what it looks like, and this is how I. This is the bottom part where you see where I folded both sides down. I lay flat the side. The bottom side is the folded side, and the top side is the part that doesn't show a folded side. That's a whole baby, unless your sister do it, okay? That's my baby girl helping me. So now I'm going to do a quick little, just to start a little stitch. My hand is kind of in the way. And all you're gonna, if you're doing it by hand, that's great, or you can do it on the sewing machine. And I have a straight stitch. And I just go right down the middle. As you see this stitch right here, I go straight down the middle of the border to hold the folded sides down. And I just keep going. That's baby. Make sure when you're stitching that your fringes are not tucked underneath the material. You want to make sure they're sticking out. Babe, hold up, baby. Yeah, hold up and look up in the camera. Okay, thank you. Okay, so you want to make sure that the fringes are not caught underneath the material. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure, and make sure that you're laying your border close to the fringes. Now, I do my knots first to get it out of the way, but if it seemed trouble to you on the sewing machine to stitch your border close to the knots, just do stitch the border on first, then the knots. But I find it easier because sometimes fringes can get in the way while you're stitching on the sewing machine and get caught, and then you have to detangle constantly. So to help it along better, I like to do the knot and then stitch the border on. This is my border. This is what my border looks like. You can make it thinner than this if you please, or you can make it thicker, however broad or narrow you like it. I like mine's very thin. It gives a neater touch to the clothing as well. Okay, I hope this was helpful to you. Ox and Akooks. Shalom.